Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. So this will be our first chapter, which is Further Transcendental Functions. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to understand what is transcendental function and its type, differentiate between inverse trigonometric, hyperbolic and inverse hyperbolic functions, how to find the derivatives of inverse trigonometric, hyperbolic and inverse hyperbolic functions, and the last one, how to evaluate the integrals of inverse trigonometric, hyperbolic and inverse hyperbolic function. Before we go further, let us identify what is transcendental function. Function have two types of function, which is algebraic function and the other one is transcendental function. We normally found algebraic function, where algebraic function is a function with combinations of the basic algebraic operations like addition, minus, division, and times, and also raising to constant powers. So for example, 2x plus 1 is one of the example of algebraic function, or a function of x where the function is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. So this type of function is called as algebraic function. A transcendental function is a function that is not algebraic. For example, logarithmic function, which is log x, or exponential function, e to the power of 2x, e to the power of y, and so on. And the last one is trigonometric functions. So this type of functions is called as transcendental function. Another type of transcendental function is the inverse trigonometric function, the hyperbolic functions, and the inverse hyperbolic functions. So that three functions we are going to learn in this chapter, that we are going to focus and we learn about these three functions. In the previous studies, you have learned about trigonometric function, so I hope that you still remember the graph of the sine, cos, tangent, secant, cosecant, and cotangent of function. So I don't have to review this trigonometric function as you have learned it before, but for this lesson, what we are going to focus is on the inverse trigonometric function, hyperbolic function, and the inverse of hyperbolic function. So we will learn about this graph, which you don't have to remember, but you just have to overview. You get the overview of how the graph of these three functions, and then we will learn how to differentiate and integrate this function in the next lesson.